are live. How are you doing today, Angela?
I am doing fabulous today. It is Tuesday and you and I are back at it. I missed you last week.
Back in the studio. Well, we had that day off or a week
Yeah.
off essentially to
Mhm.
sort of relax, kind of unwind from that last season, the last book we read through, and kind of gather our thoughts for season 2 of From Cover to Code. And here we are. We're ready to jump off
We're ready.
into it, and I'm so excited for this episode, man.
Oh, this is going to be a good one because we have our first guest.
We have our first guest. Oh, look at us just growing as a podcast. No doubt, no doubt. Well, welcome everyone that's joining us. If this is your first time here, you are tuning into the From Cover to Code podcast, where we take technology books and we examine them from cover all the way down to the code. I'm one half of the host of the show, Michael. I'm a DevOps practitioner, online learning author, SRE, and all other kinds of stuff. And I'm going to throw it to you, Angela, and let you introduce yourself as well.
Well, I am Angela, and I am the other half of this amazing book club, and I am a solution architect. I am a podcaster as well, a speaker, and a lover of all things technology, especially when I can sit down and read them and test them out and learn new cool things. So this book club is right up my alley.
Excellent. Yeah, you got to stay up on game in this industry, technology industry. You have to stay on top of things, and one of the best ways to do that is learning from the masters who have taken the time, gone through the effort to write down what they know in a book, in a tangible, portable, consumable media format that we can just learn from. So,
and
that's
I
what
like
we're
to
all
write
about.
in the margins. That book is
Okay.
destroyed. I could never. I
Right.
can't loan it out. I can't get rid of it. I like to make
Yeah.
notations because that it feels real, and I can kind of go back and remembering when I wrote it. It triggers a lot of thoughts about whatever at the time. So yeah, it's just another modality, and it's very effective. It's an effective one as well. But
No doubt.
we've done our hellos, we've done our
Yes.
introductions, we've done our we miss you so much, but now we have to introduce our guest. It is none other than the Angie Jones. Uh, Angie, bring her to the stage. This
Let's
is
bring her to the stage.
hello.
Hello.
Hi. Well, let me do your intro some justice here. Angie Jones is the global vice president of developer relations at Block Inc. She is an award-winning teacher and international keynote speaker. You hear that, right? Who shares her wealth of knowledge at software companies and conferences all over the world. As a master inventor, Angie is known for her innovative and out-of-the-box thinking, which has resulted in more than 25 patented inventions in the area of virtual worlds, collaboration software, social networking, smarter planet, and software development processes. Welcome, girl. I'm so
Thank
happy to have you.
you.
Big
Glad to
up.
be here. Congrats on the new podcast. Well, I guess not so new anymore.
Yeah.
Season 2, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're sophomores now.
All right.
But we're glad to have you here. And I noticed something in your background. You have a Katherine Johnson up there. I have
do
one
Catherine.
here.
Oh,
Oh,
look
very
at us.
nice.
I have quite a few up there, up high. I have a bunch of them, and all
Okay.
notable Black women in Barbiedom. So
I
yeah,
love that.
we vibing like
I
that.
love that. Yeah, look
Thank
at us.
you.
We're twinning. Even
Even our
beyond
names.
the name, you know what I
Yes,
mean?
I know. Because the only reason I'm Angela is because I'm trying to be a grown up. I've been Angie my entire life. What all my friends call me. So
Yeah. And that's what
professional Angie.
and I thought about that for this episode. I was like, how are we going to, distinguish between who we're talking to? But we're going to go with
Easy.
Angela for podcast host. We're going to go for Angie for podcast guest. So
That's right.
now that we
Easy
got
peasy.
that, got all that sorted out. Today we're going to be talking with Angie about your journey in automation And for fans of the show or folks that have been listening with us, rocking with us from the beginning, we're going to select our next book. So stay tuned.
Have to stay tuned for this. And if you have any book suggestions, please hit us up, put them in the chat. Please, please, please. We would love to add them to our picker and get your choice in. We'd love to have it. So anyway, back to our guest.
Yes, indeed. Back to our guest. So just to kind of break the ice a little bit, Angie, we know that you are, oh my goodness, a speaker, a creator, and an online educator. But all that stuff aside, if you had the opportunity to just kind of wave some sort of magic wand, what would you be doing if you weren't managing developer relations today?
I would probably teach. I really love to teach. I taught as an adjunct professor while working as a software engineer, and it was so absolutely rewarding. So that would be cool. Or another thing I really like is cooking. So I enjoy cooking, and me and my husband, like, often if I make something really good, we're eating it and we're like, oh, this would go in like Angie's diner, you know? So I have this fictional diner that maybe if
diner.
Maybe when I retire or something, I'll have a diner and I'll cook whatever I want to cook. I don't want like a staple menu. I want, like, you come in today, you don't know what you're gonna get, you know? And it's like maybe like a meat and three type of situation, you know. It's like good home cooking, New Orleans style, which is where I'm from. Good Southern food, you know.
That is awesome. Yeah, please make sure that when you open this cafe, this bistro, whatever you want to call it, that we are first in line.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, we don't have to be first. Like, you can have some family and friends, like number 1, number 2, number 3.
I want to be
number
in the
4
building.
and 5.
Okay.
Yeah, hold that for me and Angela, please.
All right, I got you.
We would absolutely love it. Well, that shows a lot. You have a very creative side. Food is art. Food is love. Food is creation. And when you enjoy it, the people who eat your food, they can feel that, because food is love. I've had many a meal where I've tasted it and you can tell there's not an ounce of love in there. And that, I don't want to waste calories on stuff that's not feeding me and my soul at the same time, right? I think food is just that important, and it's important. It's such a communal thing. So I love that. That's your jam. I would love to see you have your diner in your second act. That would be fantastic. Y'all hear that, right? We're gonna keep our eyes peeled. You know, you might do a Kelsey Hightower, just like, you know what? I'm retiring. You know,
I might.
I'll keep my.
I call Kelsey all the time. Now, what I'm supposed to do now so I could be like you? What's my next step?
He needs to write a handbook
like you.
But is he really retired? Because he's everywhere.
You know, that's what retired looks like for folks like us. You know, it's like retired doesn't mean I stop working. It means I stop like letting other people tell me what the work is, and I'm gonna do what I want to do. You know, and I like it. I love it, actually.
I love it too. Well, let's dig into you, Angie, the developer relations VP, the head of developer relations. And let's talk a little bit about automation. Now, automation is all the rage. It was very heavily talked about in the DevOps handbook. And it's, CI/CD, having automation to do the things that need to, move our workloads, move our pipeline through. There should be some testing involved. And I want you to share your journey with us into automation and how it has influenced your engineering philosophy.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, I've been doing some form of automation pretty much my entire career. Whether that be test automation, which I absolutely love. Like, it's one of the development tasks that needs to happen after every release. And if we want to move faster, you automate things, right? And so I'm all about like using code to automate tedious tasks or tasks that like take forever to do, or something that you have to repeat over and over again, right? All about working smarter, not harder. And so I invested quite a bit of time in test automation and learning that and how to do that well so that our teams could deliver quicker, right? Now I've actually moved into a different form of automation, which is with AI agents. And so allowing AI to automate tasks for me. So basically asking it to do something in natural language and it just kind of automating that for me. So yeah, automation is, I feel like, is a key to moving faster. Any development team that wants to, increase their velocity, automation is one of the key ingredients in doing that.
Well, you can definitely put a stamp on that one, because that is what we're hearing. That's what we hear when we're out in the world. In my old role, I heard automation, automate all the things. It
Yeah.
makes your job easier. It makes disaster recovery much more seamless. It provides you the opportunity, if something goes wrong, you can write that ship very quickly. So infrastructure is code, just for all of it, CI/CD, all of that is automation in bits and pieces. But when we were talking in the book, they were talking about many modes of automation, and you just said it. It's You're doing it with code, but it's all code. We're all writing something to make something go from this file to this running system, or et cetera, et cetera. So I wanted, since we're talking about, we heard you say that you probably would have been a teacher had you not wound up in this amazing career. But we know that you teach as well now. I've seen your courses out there, and I wonder, how does your philosophy about automation, how does that work into your teaching philosophy? How are you teaching that to your students?
Oh, that's really interesting. Yeah, so I think one I'll definitely stress, like, automate where it makes sense. But I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, I've never believed the term like automate all the things. Like, it's cute and catchy. I probably
It's
put it
so
in I probably put it in slides before and stuff like that. But in reality, I mean, you probably shouldn't automate all the things. And so I like to be very honest and talk about, like, what trade-offs come with, automating stuff, right? As your systems change, but you have an automated script that's doing something, things can quickly get out of sync, for example. You know what I mean? There's all sorts of other issues that come into play with especially when you're automating against external systems or APIs or environments or anything like that, right? And so there's a whole lot that comes into play that we should just be conscious of.
Yes.
And so I definitely try to inform people of some of those potential risks and how they might be able to mitigate them.
Fantastic.
Yeah, yeah, indeed. That's very insightful.
Very.
And so I'm wondering, I mean, we are the From Cover to Code podcast. We are
Yeah.
essentially a book club when it comes right down to it. So what are you reading right now that's keeping you on the cutting edge of where you need to be with AI agents, with automation, with everything that's going on in the technology space today? And it doesn't have to be books. It doesn't have to be, something that's a big chunk of stuff. But what are you reading today?
Okay, so I have a book, but I also have, like, another area that I'm focused on very heavily, and I'm learning a lot. I love to just kind of jump into a new area, like career wise, and then, like, learn all the things. And so what I'm really focused on right now is this new protocol. It's an open standard. And it was developed by Anthropic as well as a couple of other companies, but really pushed by Anthropic. And it's a protocol that allows AI agents to talk to various systems. So we talked about automation, right? If I want to automate anything in my workflow, then I need to be able to connect to the systems that I'm trying to automate, right? If we think about something like ChatGPT, for example, or any like LLM chat interface, right? Gemini, whatever. as I'm talking to these LLMs, like we're going back and forth, I might give it a problem that I'm having. And like, say, if I want to automate something, hey, I want to automate this specific task. So it'll respond back to me in text saying, okay, here's the steps that you need to take, right? And I'll just kind of look, all right, let's step one. What did it say to do? And I'm like, going through the process to do it, working with dashboards or UIs or whatever in order to do the task that it instructed me to do. So AI agents actually sit in front of the LLM and will do these actions on my behalf. So back to the automation piece. So for example, if I said, hey, I want to automate this task, I can tell my agent who will talk to my LLM and it'll get the instructions from the LLM on how to do it, but it'll go ahead and do it for me. Again, automation. And so now I don't have to enable, this process or invoke these steps myself. The agent will do it. And because of this open standard model context protocol, also known as MCP, because of MCP, any agent or data source that basically is developed following this standard, then they will be able to interact with each other. And so what this has just unlocked is where I may have an AI agent and I can connect to any API that also is MCP enabled. I can connect to any database or anything like that. This has made it much more accessible for everyday users. For example, if I want to query a database, instead of me needing to learn like, oh, how do I do this join? We always got to look that up. How I do is it inner or outer join? Wait, you know what I'm saying? Instead of that, I just say like, look, I want to get like, I don't know, the top items that are selling in my database. I just say that in natural language and it'll be able to work with like MySQL or whatever your database is, Oracle, whatever. It can work with that database. It'll do it under the covers and automate all of that and then give you the data back or whatever, right? And so that's what I've been studying a lot lately, the MCP ecosystem, which is absolutely phenomenal. I'm working on an AI agent called Goose. And so I don't want to just know about like my project, but I want to know about the entire ecosystem. So that's where I'm focused. As far as books, so Goose is actually open source, and I've worked with open source communities before, but you can never learn too much, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm reading this book now. It's called The Making and Maintenance of Open Source Software, and it's by Nadia Egbal. And it's a great read, in helping you understand open source communities, how to interact with them. I think there's a lot of things that, we assume about open source communities that might not necessarily be true. So that's a good read. I'm not done with it, but I'm reading that one now.
Okay.
Excellent.
Alrighty.
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely have to add that one to the stack to make sure we get through it as well. And I mean, you've already mentioned how working with these agents helps with automation. It helps expedite your task. How has it influenced the way that you're working today? Like, have you automated any of your tasks that you could possibly share with us?
Yeah. So I am getting in the habit of like anything that I want to do, I kind of grab it because it makes me go faster, right? And so I like grab this tool. It could be like literally anything. Let me see if I can think of something. Because we're actually, this Goose was an internal tool that we decided to open source. So our not just it's actually was designed to be a developer AI agent. But everybody in our company was like, whoa, why do engineers get to have all the fun? And they want to have fun too.
Exactly.
So now we have like folks from marketing and product and HR and, executive assistants and everybody like using it. So here's a everyday common one that you can maybe use it for. So for example, let's say that I work remote. So let's say you're having an offsite everybody needs to come together. We're going to go, our headquarters is in Oakland, right? And so let's say that I need to book a restaurant reservation for dinner for the entire team. So I got like, I don't know, 15 people I need to book this reservation for. I don't know about y'all. I don't have time to like go try. And for 15 people, you can't do that on Open Table. You know, you got to call.
Yeah.
I don't have time to do that, right? And so I could automate that using an agent where I say, hey, look, I need a reservation in Oakland for tonight. But maybe between these hours, anything between like 6, 7:30, and it's 15 people. And that agent would then find the restaurants, right? It'll make the phone calls, call the restaurant, get the reservation booked for me. Maybe, you know, if I wanted to say, oh, I want to approve it before you do it, I could do that. But if I just want it all the way autonomous, I could do that as well. And it'll respond back to me and say, all right, you got your reservation booked at, you know, such and such barbecue shack. And y'all have fun.
Well, that's just really
cool.
So fun fact, what you just described, when I was in that full stack coding boot camp many years ago, this was our app. Basically, it was a little bit different, but you're taking today's technology, AI, which is on everyone's lips, this using LLMs, using this AI agent, making AI so accessible in such a way that everyone can use it. It's not just for the technologists. I think that use case that you just mentioned, the whole restaurant thing, it's going to take off. It's absolutely going to take off, because you know how hard it is to get a whole bunch of people to decide on one thing. So, so thank you for sharing that. And I learned something. I've heard about AI agents. I've heard people speak about AI agents, but your examples were very clear. I understand it. And now also it gives us, me, and anyone else who's listening a jumping off point.
That's right. That's that teacher in me, Ange.
I hear it. I hear it. And I'm embracing it. I really am embracing it. So if you have an opportunity, where can our book club friends follow you? Where are you out on these interwebs? We need to know.
Yeah. Okay. So I've been hanging out on LinkedIn a lot lately. So you can look me up there. My name there is Angie Jones. The username is just no space, Angie Jones. So you can find me there. I got a cute little hot pink sweater on. So I should pop up when you look for me. Also my website. And so I put like my upcoming events and things like that. Any thoughts I have, musings. I'm getting back to like old school blogging and stuff.
I love
like,
that.
I do too. I like that for me, you know. So angiejones.tech is my website. So you can definitely hit me up there. And then all of my social links are there. And so whatever your preferred social platform is,
I love it.
You can find me there.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Angie, and for joining us. Hang on for 1 second, because we got some shout outs that I wanted to bring to the stage. Nice. One of the folks that's just doing it big on YouTube right now, Tech Coach Ralph, he stopped through the show to say hello. And he also wanted to say salute to us and hello to everybody on the show today.
Thank you,
Tech Coach Ralph, thanks for coming through the show. We really do appreciate you. I'm catching all of your lives, as many of your lives as I can, and following the rest of the shows once they publish. So thanks for coming in and checking us out. So with that, we're going to move into the next portion of our show, which is what we've all been waiting for season 2. It's the kickoff, where we select our next book. Angie, we'd love to have you stay and join us as we pick this next read. We understand. We know you're super busy hanging out with Goose. Well, actually, you're not busy, because Goose is taking care of all your work for you.
You know what? Let me say this. I gotta leave y'all with this. So a lot of people will say, okay, well, what are you doing with all of this extra time or whatever? And let me tell you, it just makes you more efficient. Like, I can get more done. And people are like, how do you do all of that? And I'm telling them, like, I'm using AI to help me move faster. Just what we said about automation. You want to move faster, then automation is the key. So I'm going to leave y'all with that. I do need to go to a basketball game. So
okay.
I want to know what y'all picked, though. So I'm going to come back and I'm going to watch the rest of this, because I need to know what you picked.
We will let you know. Don't worry.
Okay. Don't worry. Thank you for joining us. We will
Thanks
keep
so
you
much.
in the loop. All right. Thanks
Okay.
again, Angie.
Bye.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us. All
Wow.
right, now.
Amazing.
How,
So glad
how
to
is
have
that kicking
Angie.
off? How is that to kick off season
I
2?
know,
Okay.
right? Exactly.
Woo.
And we got Angie Jones in the building.
Look at
Uh,
us.
okay.
Look at us.
So let's just jump right into this book selection because I'm on pins and needles with what we are going to
I am so
select.
excited. I am ready. The reason we started this book club was because we both like to read. Fun
Yeah.
fact, I just got a tattoo that is a stack of books
Okay.
with a cup of tea on top of it. I just a few days ago. So that is showing my love and affinity for literature, for reading. It's one of my favorite things to do. So I'm about this life. This
Yeah.
book club is such a huge part of what I love to do. And whatever book we choose, I will embrace it.
We're gonna run with it.
We're gonna run with it. So how are we choosing?
Well, you introduced me to this tool as I bring it to the stage here. This wheel of what is it called? Wheel of Names,
Yes.
random item selector. If you're listening to us and you can't see my screen at the moment, it's this big pinwheel looking things. Imagine Wheel of Fortune with all the money laid out. Instead of the money, we got the books.
The
And what's
titles of
going
the
to
books.
happen? Yeah, the titles of the books. So we can add or remove titles from the list. I've got all the ones that we sort of gathered during our week off. And when I click this wheel, it's going to spin, and then randomly stop somewhere on the book that we're going to pick. And then that's the book that we're going to rock with for this season. We got
I'm
a
so
couple
excited.
comments coming in.
Drum roll.
We got before we go, let me get these comments in. we got Sterling. He joined us and said, great guest. We got Alex joining in saying season 2, let's go. Let's get this book selected. Thanks for joining us, Alex. And then, yes, the drum roll from tech coach Ralph himself. So without further ado, let me go ahead and click this and let's get this book selected. All right, here we go. It's spinning.
Do you have a favorite?
Oh, I want something AI. Which that is programming AWS Lambda.
He got what he wanted. Well, not what you wanted, but that was I think that was one of your choices.
Was that one of my picks?
I
can't remember. We picked a whole bunch of books.
Yes.
And dropped them into the list. I can't remember which ones I picked.
Let's go.
But I really enjoy and appreciate AWS Lambda. Let me get this off the screen here so I can wax nostalgic about AWS Lambda. So I too have some courses online, and in the past I've used EC2, I've used Elastic Beanstalk as the compute platform for deploying stuff because most of my courses are on CI/CD. What I like about AWS Lambda is that number one, it's quick to deploy and it's super cheap. Like instead of spinning up a server and having to pay for the server that's just sitting there running between all the times that you get to the class, this function is just sitting there for free, $0 spent unless somebody comes and requests something. And even then you get millions of requests for nickels. I mean, it's practically super cheap. So I'm really looking forward to learning more about AWS Lambda as we get through this book.
This is fantastic. Okay, well, I see that it is on O'Reilly, so I can definitely read it from there.
Okay.
Let's you know what? Do you have O'Reilly? Because I would say you should probably scroll through and see, what some of the what the table of contents is. If you don't, I'd love to just go through the table of contents. So if you're still listening, we have decided for season 2 of From Cover to Code, programming AWS Lambda, build and deploy serverless applications with Java. And I haven't written Java in a very long time, so time to dust off that old Java skills. But here we go. Chapter 1, Introduction to Serverless, AWS and AWS Lambda, getting started with AWS Lambda, programming AWS Lambda functions, operating AWS Lambda functions, building serverless applications, testing, logging, metrics, and tracing, advanced AWS Lambda, advanced serverless architecture, and then of course the course conclusion. So you and I need to get together and figure out how we're going to break this book up. I think we should do the old-fashioned way.
Part 1, part 2, part 3.
See, you got that kind of time, sir.
No, I don't.
We're going to take this offline, but this is our book, and we want you to join us. So next week on Tuesday, don't know the date, but it's a week from today, the 18th, we are going to be back at it. Okay. Yep. We're going to at least have read the first chapter. We will be discussing it. Get your copy. We're doing this. We would love to have you all along. Definitely share your thoughts as we go along week by week, what you've learned. Definitely asynchronously. Get on our socials. Yeah. You know where to find us. We're everywhere. And share your thoughts, share your learning. Always use the hashtag cover to code wherever you are. And let's get through this book together. I think we're going to learn a lot. Are you hearing me, listeners? We're going to learn a lot. And I'm looking forward to going through this book with you, Michael.
Indeed. And I'm going to have to probably pull some sidebars and break out my Java books, because I've been on that snake gang, the Python gang, for a long time. So I'm going to have to see what Java books I got laying around, pick those up, dust those off,
dust them off, sir.
But as I see that this book is also Java based, I'm thinking about the folks that we know, parts of our community that are Java experts, that we may be able to bring to the show.
One just left.
Exact. Okay. So you're already reading my mind. Yes, indeed. And then I also have some other folks in mind that I'm going to reach out to.
I love
see if they can lend their expert commentary to this material that we're going over.
Oh, we have someone that's going to read along with us. So it's funny that we're talking about Java, because last summer, maybe, I was in a honest to goodness bookstore in outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, and this book caught my attention. And again, I haven't done Java in years, and I had every intention on trying to get back into it when I purchased this book. And I think I hope this can be a really good compendium to help me get my act together. And so I'm going to be double dipping. We're going to learn a lot during this season. Okay.
Yes, indeed.
All right. Now,
really, as soon as we hang up, I'm going to dive into this book. I got to get started. But yeah, we'll get the pacing and everything lined up, and we will see you all next week, right here,
7 days,
same place, same time, same station.
Thanks for joining us, and thank you for rocking with it from Cover to Code. Until next time.
All right, we'll see you.